The contract is our mentor. I'm a big believer in the contract and reading the contract. I think that is so important.
When I was a relatively new faculty and I was navigating how to prepare myself for tenure, then I had moved from being fixed term to a full-time faculty. I, in fact, talked with senior faculty, particularly those in the IFO, including you, Tom, about some of those requirements that I was seeing in Article 22. And those kind of guided me on how to be able to package myself for tenure and promotion.
If you look at our contract, it allows us to not be cookie cutter. It's not this mold of you have to publish in one of these 5 journals, you have to have 5 papers to get tenure, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Instead, we're allowed to find our own path. And that brings this diversity and richness to our faculty, and the ways in which our faculty impact our institutions, our community, and our fields is made better by the fact that they have freedom to choose the best way for them to do that. And they don't have to just fit a mold that was made for a certain kind of person by a certain kind of person.
Importance of the contract in my particular case and the way it applied was in the process of going through the different steps, the 3 different steps of a grievance, and then of course the full arbitration, which my case happened.
It has given me opportunities I never imagined I would have, and part of the reason I felt I could do that was that the contract gives me the opportunity every 4 years, or 2 or 4 years, to write a professional development plan, and so I could lay out my goals in terms of what I wanted to do at the time, and as my career has changed and my interests have evolved, that's all been good.
I think the IFO has created a better work environment, better pay and benefits, and better rights as for the employee.
Moorhead is right across the river from Fargo, from North Dakota, which is a right-to-work state. And we get a lot of people from North Dakota applying across the river. And many do come to us. And I would credit that primarily to the IFO and what we have negotiated, what we have put in terms of contract language, because if you're on the other side, at least in our community, you just don't get all that.
If you're aware of the contract and how the contract operates, it can end up actually serving you in a way that might actually save your career.
One of the bigger ones that's affected me personally is the protection for retrenched faculty members and minimum salary placements. I got a huge raise when I became a full professor because I was like 5 steps below the minimum salary placement.
For the professional life, first of all, salary negotiation, a student body in your class, the cap of the classrooms, having the administrative roles to be appropriate, so they cannot make reasons discrimination against us. There's a lot of stuff that IFO actually does to make things going for us.
Early in my career, it was really helpful to be able to define what I wanted to do and what my professional goals were. I came in planning to do a lot of research and ended up getting a grant fairly early on to do some museum exhibit development. And I really appreciated that the contract gave me the flexibility to set out my goals based around that rather than a more traditional research program.
And also understanding faculty rights in terms of what it means to be working in a shared governance structure, and also the opportunity to learn about not just how the union works, but also how the administration process of making decisions. So that kind of has made me really aware of the academic sector in general.
We get more effective, more committed faculty by using what we've negotiated for, what ends up in the contract, so that we're not answering emails 24 hours a day, unless you like that kind of thing.
It's amazing how important having a contract is. It really establishes parameters of behavior for administrators and for faculty. It limits favoritism so significantly that most of us don't have to worry about, does my dean like me?
Particularly coming from a background where you had gone to school in a state where that structure wasn't in place, and then coming to Minnesota where the IFO actually has rules and regulations on how those things can be done in a way that are equitable across the board for everyone. I think that is the most impactful thing that IFO has done to me as a career academic, because it kind of gave me the strategy to be able to survive in the academic system.
I would also say just the availability of IFO reps, whether we're talking at the state level or at the faculty association level, to help me whenever I have any questions about contractual issues or challenge or issues I have, particularly issues with the administration.